1, 2, 3, let's go.
Wednesday afternoon, hoping you will tune into our show.
No, it's good.
Oh,
Good man.
Good to see you, bro. Right, so, cause I mean,
Anybody joining us at all?
I did speak with Phantom last night. She said I'll try my best, but you know,
She works, doesn't she?
Yeah, what might be calling? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so welcome to the Alien Spaceship with myself, Emmy Hikins, and he calls me Bruv.
And me, Trevor Gear, and I call him Cuz. We just
He did this on
contradicted each other. That's not the best start, but you can edit that out, perhaps. Okay, we're tired. Come on. And we haven't started yet.
We haven't started, yeah. Right, so I believe you have some interesting topics for today.
Yeah, and so do you, I think. I mean, you sent
right.
a video of, was it the most unlikely things? That was quite interesting, I thought.
Yeah, it was.
And also you were talking about some men, if you like, going to other countries to find a wife later in their life. It's actually quite surprising how often you see older guys with not necessarily younger, but often younger Eastern-looking women. So it's a bit of a sort of a thing, isn't it, really, that happens? And I say all power to people. If they've divorced or they've lost a partner through illness or whatever, and they don't want to be on their own, then they go and find somebody else, and there seems to be a market for that sort of stuff, doesn't there? So yeah, all power to them, really, for doing it. What do you think?
Well, I'm all in support of it, to be honest.
You support it?
To be honest, yeah. No disrespect to anybody, you know. It's whatever works for you, whatever works for you. I mean, it's become very much an open world now, isn't it? Where you dare not criticize anybody's point of view. It's becoming very rare now. You just have to. It's all about acceptance.
Yeah.
And in some ways, I want to jump on that bandwagon as well, especially if it works in my favor.
I mean, you said, does it break any moral code?
Yeah,
I'm interested to know what you meant by that, because it's not obviously breaking a moral code, is it?
Yeah, well, it's just a thought, because I've not really heard debates about it, but I've heard people talk about it, on social media posts. I think one of the ones that I saw about a year ago was on TikTok. And it was funny, the phrase that they coined for it, or the word rather, that they coined for it. And they called it passport bro. And
Passport bro.
Yeah. And I thought, well, so I got curious. I thought, what's passport bro? So I delved into it, and it turns out passport bro is the term for It's sort of is derogatory in a way, but I don't.
It's what?
I don't. It's derogatory.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So yes. So in a way, but I don't see that side of it. Of it. Maybe because of the name or the label that they've given it, but I don't see it. So when I delved into it, at first it was funny and intriguing to me, because it was a totally new concept to me. I looked at it and I thought, well, hang on a minute. So are you telling me that if I went to a place like Brazil or the Philippines, for instance, less privileged areas, I could get somebody a 10? I'm probably a 6. I could pull a 10.
You could be a sugar daddy, couldn't you? But that's a kind of similar thing inside. There's an overlap somewhere there, isn't there?
Well, well, I think sugar daddy terms are quite different, actually.
Do
I
you?
think, yeah, I think sugar daddy.
The leader of our gang will make the show go with a bang and fund the aim of everything customers. And fund the aim of everything customers.
Kind of similar thing inside. There's an overlap somewhere there, isn't there?
Well, I think sugar daddy terms are quite different, actually.
Do
I
you?
think, yeah, I think sugar daddies are like the ones that, sort of looks after the girl, not necessarily with the intention of making them a wife or marrying them, not with the intention of a commitment. So it's just, so I wouldn't use that term, actually, because it doesn't lead to a commitment. And
No.
these women, yeah, and these women that would want a passport bro, I think commitment is the number one thing in their mind. That's what they want. They want a commitment, because if they don't get that commitment, then they don't get the privilege that comes with the passport.
Yeah, yeah.
You get my point? So
Well, that's an interesting point, actually, because obviously they get the passport bureau. They want to, get a new place of home and citizenship or whatever.
yeah,
But I wonder what happens if it is done, if it's set up, as sometimes it must be, for that purpose of getting somebody citizenship. If subsequently they divorce,
yeah,
I don't suppose anything would. Well, obviously, if the person has got citizenship, that wouldn't matter. But I guess if they did divorce, they've achieved their object, if that's what they're doing it for. But you say they need commitment for it to work, but perhaps not. Sometimes they would just want to marry somebody to get that into a particular country. And clearly, that's the moral code element that you're talking about, isn't it? That that's not perhaps not the way it should be done, shall we say?
well, I think the moral code is a bit more encompassing than that. It's a bit more wider in scope. It's a bit more wider in scope, because when you look at the moral code that I'm talking about, obviously, say for instance, a man that is in his 60s, for instance, right? So he knows that, say for instance, in America or Australia or here in Britain, he would have to settle for somebody he would be expected to. It doesn't have
Yeah.
to, but he'd be
Similar
expected,
age and stuff.
yeah, similar age. He'd be expected to
Yeah.
settle with somebody of a similar age, and it would be frowned upon if he then went, say, 10 age brackets younger, or even 15.
Who's
there are,
who's going to frown upon it then?
right. That's a very good question. That's a very good. I think it's all in the head, isn't it? It's all in our heads. We think that they're gonna frown upon it. They're gonna say, well, why can't you go for someone your own age? I think. I could be totally wrong. I stand corrected on that. But I'm saying, for hypothetically, I'm saying it could be frowned upon by, it would be women. it would be. It wouldn't be men, would it?
I don't know, because the fact that you raised that, it's occurred to me that the way you said it might be 10 years or 15 years, it occurred to me that perhaps you would instinctively frown upon it yourself. I might be wrong, but that's
Right. Okay.
Would you frown upon it?
That's a very good question. I wouldn't. I wouldn't frown upon it.
Yeah.
If I saw somebody with, say, for instance, somebody in their 50s with a 20-something-year-old, and they get along very well, I wouldn't frown upon it. I would just say, well, good for you, man. And if it was the other way around, I would say, good on you, girl. I don't know what you've done to earn it. You know, perhaps I could borrow a leaf out of your.
I mean, there's quite a few. Obviously, the famous wealthy man or woman, I guess, but dealing with the men, they have a whole new level of attraction to
Right.
to
Yeah.
females for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But it does work both ways, I suspect. But from famous people, you take President Macron of France.
Yeah.
Of our gang will make the show go with a bang and fund the aim of everything cast us and fund the aim of everything